Hi and welcome to Cosmic Consciousness with Cassia. On this channel we discuss all aspects of the ascension process. I have a variety of services that I offer to assist in your awakening journey, and you can find those listed in the description box below. Today we're going to be doing a reading for Scorpio for the month of December. This is going to be for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Venus, and Rising signs, as well as the cross watcher of the Scorpio. Clear. This is a general reading. It's not going to resonate with everybody. Take what fits and leave the rest. If it doesn't resonate, check out your other sign placements as well. And if you don't know what those are, you can go to a website such as Astro.com, plug in your birth information, and a chart will be generated for you. All right, we're going to start out with the Starseed Oracle today, and we're going to see what messages we have for Scorpio for the month of December. All right, and two cards coming out. We have the Blue Flame, Spontaneous Awakening, Activation, and Integration Time. And you can see this card looks like a portal. I always really enjoy that card there. And then we also have Earth School, Life Lessons, Soul Growth, Study, and Higher Learning coming out for you guys. And so you guys have received a massive activation, and we are in this period right now with the 12-12 portal. I'll pull these down so you guys can see them a little bit right now. With the 12-12 portal, with the 12-21 portal coming up, that great conjunction of Saturn and Jupiter that we've all been hearing so much about, all the different things that are happening, we've all been receiving massive activations. And so for you guys, this energy is just coming through really, really strongly. I'm feeling like this, for some of you guys, it may hit you almost out of nowhere. Like, you're receiving these energies, and you're receiving them, and you're kind of just going about your lives, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, it's like everything kind of clicks in, and it's just this massive shift that you guys have in your consciousness, in your perception, in your understanding. This next level of spiritual activation, and it's really going to help you get some clarity around some of these major life lessons that you've been learning. This is a school, right? We come to Earth to learn. We come here to grow. Many of us, many people watching this channel, you also came to aid in the ascension of the planet and the awakening of humanity. But we forget sometimes that even though we came to assist with that, we also came to learn and grow ourselves. And so you're in this process right now of learning how to grow yourselves. And really, like, sometimes we forget that, and we forget that there are a lot of lessons that we're here to learn. And I feel, though, as though you guys really haven't been able to forget that lately, because that energy's been coming through very strongly. You've been in the middle of a lot of really intense lessons, and those lessons have been in and of themselves activating you and awakening you. And something's really going to shift and click for you guys, and you're going to be able to really see everything that you've been going through from a higher perspective, and learn how to really integrate those lessons into your lives. And then we have Cracked Open, Rock Bottom, Surrender to the Alchemy of Life. Yeah, so some of these lessons that you guys have been going through, this initiation that you've been going through in this phase of your awakening journey, has taken you possibly to some really dark places. And you guys have that energy, right? Like, your energy can go very dark. You are ruled by Pluto. And so it is that energy of the shadow. Scorpio, if you are not able to really look at your shadow, you can get caught up in a lot of you can get caught up in the darkness. And conversely, if you dive too deeply into your shadow and you spend too much time there, which you guys are also apt to do, and I say this all with love, I appreciate Scorpio energy very much, but as you are also apt to do, you can kind of drown in the darkness that way as well. You either drown in the darkness, or sometimes you repress the darkness, and then it still shows up in all sorts of areas of your lives. And so it reminds me of that quote by Carl Jung: until we make the unconscious conscious, it will dictate our lives, and we will call it fate. And so you guys are very much like, your goal is to be in the middle of that, where you're exploring the shadow, where you're open to what it's trying to teach you, but you're not allowing yourselves to get so engulfed in it that you don't see anything else. Remember, your shadow is an aspect of you. It is not all of you. But you guys you've been learning some really, really tough lessons. The school of life has been really putting you through the paces. It's felt like it's been exam time for a lot of you guys. And you are, whatever has happened to you that has created this that has revealed this darkness and really brought you to this darker place has done so that you can transform. Your energy is the phoenix energy. And so the phoenix must burn before it can rise. And so a lot of you have been in that burning process, and it has not been easy. There's been a lot of really tough lessons that you guys have been learning and internalizing, but it's like this light, this blue flame in the darkness that just comes and illuminates everything, and all of a sudden it makes sense, and you're able to rise up out of that darkness while bringing with you all of the gifts and everything that you've learned in that process, bringing the wisdom of that with you into this next phase of your lives. And then we have called soul gifts and training. It's time to step up. Yes. So this has been training, right? And see how it's now like she's walking through the portal. It's like everything that you've been going through has been training you, has been preparing you. And those gifts that we were just talking about that you bring up out of that darkness with you, right? You are bringing with you, and you are going to be utilizing them. They're going to be, your soul gifts are going to be coming more and more online as a result of this process. For a lot of you guys, it's like really digging deep into that darkness and then showing other people how to pull themselves out of that too. That's part of what some of you guys are going to be doing. That's part of your calling for some of you guys. But it is, as you receive this illumination, this activation that really helps to lift you up out of that, you're going to be called to step up and to share what you've learned. There's something as far as the gifts that you now see manifesting. And now that you've learned from these darker experiences, you have an appreciation for those gifts and how to utilize them, and the importance of the way that you utilize them and call upon them. And then we have, you've got the love, Hardarian energy, codependency and boundaries. And that's coming out with lifting the veil, questioning everything. Anything unaligned must go. And so this is a lot of energy too of you, now that you're coming out of this darker place. And for some of you guys, part of this darker energy may have involved relationships. It may have involved relationships that were codependent, that were not, that we're seeking. It's codependency is when we are seeking something from another that we don't have within ourselves. And those relationships can be very tricky. They can be very difficult to maneuver. They can look like a lot of different things. And so that for some of you guys was part of your journey, was learning through that. For some of you guys, I feel almost like part of how you got out of that codependent cycle was by sort of having that ripped away from you, whoever, whatever it was that you were codependent with, having that taken away from you and having to stand on your own and really not knowing how to do that. And having to learn how to do that, how to really stand on your own 2 feet, having to learn how to set boundaries with people, how to set boundaries and how to allow people to set boundaries with you. And that setting boundaries doesn't mean that you don't love someone. It just means that you also love yourself, and you are demanding that respect, and you are understanding what is healthy for you and what is healthy for them. So there's been a lot of work going on around that as well. And so for those of you who are still in relationships or friendships or whatever that are codependent and have this type of energy to it, this type of neediness type of energy, this type of, it can look like people pleasing. It can look like a lot of different things, right? Like, I'll do whatever I have to do to make this person happy so that they stay, right? And expecting that from other people as well. It can look like a whole bunch of different things. But now you're really seeing how that's out of alignment, and you're understanding that that needs to go. You're seeing everything that's out of alignment in your life, and how anything needs to leave. And for a lot of you guys, part of this rock bottom, part of this process was that some of those things were already removed for you. Some of those things that were out of alignment were removed for you, and it felt really scary and it felt really painful, because it just does when that happens. It feels scary. It feels painful. It leaves that hole. And then we have to figure out how, when we have nothing outside of us to fill that void with, we have to figure out how to fill it ourselves. And we fill it with spirit. We fill it with source, right? We fill it with love, with the love that comes from within, with the love that comes from the Creator. We have to build that relationship with a higher authority, right? That's where we become truly whole, is when we take that divine energy and we place it in where we were trying to fill it with everything else, and we realize that that's the only thing that can fill it. In certain doctrines, like in 12-step, for example, they talk about the God-sized hole, and that's really what it is. So understanding that. And I want to look at the cracked open card, if I can find it for you guys. And I just want to read. I keep being drawn back to it. And I just saw it here. Where is it? Yes. So it says, don't let the weight and density of the world squash your tender spirit. Instead, let it call even more of it home, into your body, at the center front of your life. It's through the extreme pressure of life's trials that diamonds are cultivated. It's when things are at their darkest that we cultivate proper faith and our light is ignited. It's through the crumbling that we can allow our wounds to be alchemized. Let your pain, sorrow, and losses make you, not break you. Let life alchemize your tragedies into gold. Be sure to be open to being cracked open, wide open. It's the difficult times that help us grow in leaps and bounds and in ways we could only dream were possible. But first they have to crack us open. Sometimes it hurts like hell. It's nature's way. When you let it happen or not, whether you let it happen or not, it's going to happen. So surrender to the process. That's how the light gets in. When your heart cracks open, a space is created for your soul to more fully enter. I'm going to read that again. When your heart cracks open, a space is created for your soul to more fully enter. When your soul cracks open, a space is created for the grace of the Holy Spirit to enter. Let your trials, your sorrows, your pains, and your losses transform you into more and more of yourself. Stay open to the possibility that your tragedies, your losses, your sorrows, and your hurt happened for you, not to you. Bless the thing that broke you down and cracked you open, because the world needs you open. Surrender to the alchemy of life. Exactly. Surrender. Release what needs to be released. Set those boundaries. Know that you have all the love you need within you. That was the whole lesson the whole time, was that everything that you were seeking from out there, you already have in here. It's just really getting back in touch with that again. Anything else coming out here? Empathic starseed. Energetic sovereignty, absorbing what's not yours. So that's more of that codependent energy right there in a different form. That empathic energy. That energy of taking on things that don't belong to you. This is really you learning to stand in your own energetic sovereignty, to be your own entity, to not allow outside energies to influence your energy, to really know what it feels like. This is a process that you guys have been going through of really knowing what it feels like to be in your own energy. And in order to know that, we have to have extraneous energies removed, right? And if those energies aren't removed, we have to know how to set firm boundaries with them so that we can spend more time in our own energy. And once we know what our own energy feels like, then we know whether it's out of balance or not. And when we know if it's out of balance, we can bring it back into balance. And once we know what our energy feels like when it is balanced, we have a much stronger tool for navigation in the world. And we can always bring ourselves back into alignment. We can always sense when a place or a situation or a person is bringing us out of alignment, because we know how we normally feel, and we know how we feel when we're around that person or in that place. And it's a much healthier barometer when we know how to center in our own energy. And so this is about not taking on what's not yours, not taking on the energies that don't belong to you, the responsibilities that don't belong to you. Really just getting a chance to worry about yourself and be more centered and aware within yourself. Let's see, what else do we want to pull here? Yeah, and on the bottom of the deck, we have Star Brothers, Horus energy, protection, loyalty, safety, and trust. This is what you've been learning. You've been learning how to trust, but you've been learning how to trust yourself. Above all else, learning how to trust in yourself. And understanding that a lack of trust in other people is also a lack of trust in self. Because if I trust myself, if I trust my judgment, I don't have to worry about you, because I already know that I can discern whether or not you are trustworthy. Like if we do not trust ourselves enough to be able to discern who is trustworthy and who is not, then we won't trust anybody at all, because we'll just assume everybody's out to get us. That's not the case. People are human. Different people have different intentions and agendas, yes. But if we are if we have strong powers of discernment, if we can read other people's energy, then we know how to act in those circumstances, and we know who to let in and who to not. And that actually allows us to open our hearts. So it's that process that you've been learning as well, is that process of discernment, that process of learning how to trust yourselves. And so if situations are coming up that aren't feeling right to you, trust yourself. Learn to trust your own internal guidance. Yeah, that's all I want to say about that. And so I want to pull a couple Wisdom of the Hidden Realms cards. Clear. Let's get some energy for Scorpio for December. Scorpio. Scorpio. This is why it's so important for you guys to examine your shadow, but not to allow yourselves to drown or get lost in it. Because that also helps with your powers of discernment, because you know when you're projecting and when you're not. All right, and you got the Lady of the Gift, generosity, receiving, and withholding. And so this is the energy of being open to give and being open to receive. And that energy, I feel like you guys have been I feel like some of you almost, it's like because of these lessons that you've been learning around boundaries and around energetic sovereignty, have almost gotten into this place where you've become a little bit withholding with your energy, because you're not really sure, like we said, that process of discernment. You're not really sure if you can discern between where your energy should be invested and where it shouldn't. And so you're just withholding it altogether. And so you don't want to do that, because then you pull yourself out of the flow. You want to be able to be in harmony with other people, with the universe. You want to allow yourself to be giving. Find some way that you can be generous with your spirits, right? Somewhere that feels safe for you, where you can do that, so where you can begin to open up those channels for yourself a little bit more. And then the Sacred Union came out. Partnership and romance. Interesting. And so there is this energy, it looks like, in the air for you guys. And then on the bottom of the deck, we have the Phoenix. Resurrection, surrender to change. And so as you go through this process, I feel like, as you learn how to be energetically sovereign, as you learn how to move out of this codependent energy into this independent energy, once we move from codependence to independence, we then can learn how to be interdependent. And interdependence means that we don't rely on each other solely, right? We are good on our own, but we can also come together with another individual in a balanced way and share energy, right? Because I'm not getting lost in your energy. I can blend my energy with your energy, but I know my energy and I'm strong in it. And I am not going to get lost in your energy. I'm not going to absorb and take on anything from your energy that I don't want, right? And so that's really important. And so I feel like in order for this Sacred Union energy to come in for you, this process of giving and receiving and not being withholding with your energy is going to be really important for you. So any way that you guys can do that and get into the flow of that is really going to help. And I feel like there's some of you guys who are watching this and you're like, oh, I'm not interested in partnership. I'm not interested in romance. I am not interested in a sacred union. And so that's fine. That's fine. For some of you guys, this is also the union of your own inner masculine and feminine energies, right? The masculine energy is the giving, the feminine energy is the receiving. So practicing that is also a balancing of your masculine and your feminine energies, which is really important for you guys. You want to do that. In order to ascend, we have to be balanced within ourselves. And just understand, you'll attract that when you're ready. If you're not ready, it probably won't come to you anyway, so don't worry about that. But if that is something that you are ready for, then there is a possibility for that. And we're going to pull a couple tarot cards on this just to see if we can get more into this union energy here. What is going on with this here? What is going on with this? 10 of Cups. All right, absolute happiness, bliss, wish fulfillment, judgment. All right, a call to action, a realization, temperance, balance, right? This balancing, just like we were talking about. And then the 10 of Swords, which is the end of a painful cycle. With the Moon, the Four of Wands, and the Nine of Pentacles. So yeah. Once you see through the illusion, right? Once you really are good on your own and you learn how to do that and this is the energy of being energetically sovereign, you attract that, you attract this into your lives. You go from this to this. Yeah. And so, yeah. This call to balance, this call to balance, that's what draws it in, is this, like we said, the balancing of these energies within yourself then draws that in for you. And there is going to be some of this energy, I feel, for some of you guys when you do draw this in, just because this is the energy of being stuck in your head, of really just that tense mental energy, that nightmares kind of energy, that energy of like, I don't want to get caught up in something painful again, right? And that's part of the illusion. The illusion is this pain, right? This cycle can be over for you. You don't have to relive that if you apply the lessons of the past moving forward. And if you remember too that you are energetically sovereign and you continue to practice this process of not taking on what's not yours, of establishing healthy boundaries, right? If you do that, then you're going to be just fine. You're going to be just fine. But take the time that you need to sort of, this is like your rest and recuperation time right now. That's really what this is about. This is the energy that can come in for you, this sacred union energy, if you allow yourself to go through the process that you're going through right now. Yeah. Yeah. If you allow yourselves to go through that process. I want to pull also a couple conscious spirit cards for you guys. Clear. All right. Guidance for Scorpio, December 2020. Guidance for Scorpio, December 2020. All right, we have the air elemental. I embrace the element of air and am open to all knowledge and wisdom. That being open-minded. Being open-minded, that's what I'm feeling from that. Being open-minded, don't make the decision that you know everything and you have nothing left to learn. We always have more to learn. Remember, Earth School. And then the present. I fully experience every moment of my life by living in the present, right? And that's how you stay out of this energy too, is don't live in the past, don't live in the future, live in the now. This is the only moment that's real. When we get too caught up living in the past or the future, that's when this energy, this confusion, this illusion, all of this comes in, right? We don't want to get stuck in that energy. We don't want to fall victim to that. So we want to stay centered in the present moment. Just being present, being conscious in the moment. That's how we can really connect with other people. That's how we can really feel and experience energy and center into our own intuition, is by being present in the moment. Knowledge, wisdom, air is communication too. Yeah, so try to be more present in your day-to-day lives. That's going to help you a lot. Staying open-minded and staying present. And just being curious about everything that you're learning, all the different ways that you're growing and transforming right now. And then we also have release. I release that which does not serve my higher purpose with gratitude and love. So that's the continuing to let go. What is out of alignment, right? What needs to shift? As your perspective shifts, as you receive this activation, right? As you level up on your spiritual journey as a result of everything that you've gone through and everything that it's taught you, how do you continue to release? You'll see more and more, you're going to be seeing more and more clearly what is not in alignment with your greater purpose, with your energy as it is now. And you're going to be asked to continually release those things. Any final cards of guidance here? Actually, I'm wanting to do Mystical Shaman Oracle to close for you guys. Clear. Let's get a mystical shaman oracle card for Scorpio to close out this reading. Final guidance for Scorpio. And we have the Tree of Life and the Curse. And so this is releasing generational curses. This is releasing all of that shadow type energy right there. Past life energy, generational energies that you've been working through and healing. The curse refers to the limiting stories of our ancestors and the karma from former lifetimes that preordains the events of our lives. It is the source of negative patterns, and it can show up as a disease, a destructive force, or a blockage on our creative energy. The curse holds us hostage to a false story that we confuse for reality. Recognizing the original wound that is playing out in our life can heal it. And this is that shadow work that we were talking about that you guys have been doing. It is time to recognize the source of your limitations. Did your grandparents live with a mindset of scarcity? Did you inherit genes for heart disease? Were you a slave or a master in a past life? This karmic legacy is ready and waiting to be seen, to be untangled, and to be released. Honor the players and their stories. Forgive everyone and everything. Craft a new course for yourself. And so the Theta healing that I do can be really helpful with this, as can the Belvaspata. So please reach out to me if you would like assistance with this. But there's a lot of detoxing energy going on for you guys right now. There's a lot of detoxing energy as you guys are in this final leg of up-leveling in your spiritual journey, right? This spontaneous awakening, you may have been in a dark place, and this awakening is shaking you out of that, but it may bring you deeper for a moment so that you can really purge and release. The sweat lodge is on the bottom of the deck. This is all about purging and releasing, so that you can purge and release once and for all everything that's ready to be released, so that you can then move forward. And so, yeah, this is a lot of old karmic lessons, old karmic patterns, ancestral patterns that you are healing. Look at the wound, find the source of the wound, pull it up from the root. And that's how you're finally going to be free of whatever energies it is, whatever stories, whatever patterns have kept playing out. You've really been seeing this, and it's ready and wanting to be released. And as you release yourself from your limitations, from those past storylines that don't serve you anymore, from those old habits that don't serve you anymore, you're also liberating and releasing your lineage as well. And then we have the Tree of Life. When we heal the curse, we open ourselves up to the blessings. And it says, the Tree of Life is a sacred symbol throughout the Americas. Its deep roots reach into the lower world, the unconscious, while its branches reach to the heavens, the source of destiny. To be whole in your life's journey, it is important to have deep roots and high branches. A tall tree with shallow roots falls in the first wind, but a tree with deep roots can weather any storm. To find health and balance in your life, reflect on how you dance with your actions, your thoughts, and your feelings. If you are too much in your thinking head or in the world of fantasies and daydreaming, connect more with your roots and physical body. If you are caught in mechanical doing and are feeling stuck, not able to imagine a better life for yourself, open yourself to be inspired by the heavens. Let your roots and branches be aligned with your heart's longings. So this is finding balance. This is finding balance between the spiritual and the physical and the practical material world. Really finding that balance, bringing yourself back to that center point, understanding, utilizing that energy from above and below. Imagine pulling energy up from the earth, down, up through the bottoms of your feet, up your chakra line, and connecting that energy out your crown, up above to the heavens, pulling it back down through your crown, down into the earth. And imagine that just like a loop, connecting you to that energy. That might be a meditation or a visualization that can be really helpful for you guys. But it's just like, really, this is the lower world and the upper world. So it's like you guys have been traveling into the lower world. But this is the reminder again, don't get stuck in the lower world. You want to also balance that out with the upper world. You want to bring that up into the light. You go down there, you see what you need to see, you retrieve what you need to retrieve, and then you come back up, right? You don't stay there. And so that's the process that you guys are learning. That's the balance that you guys are learning right now. And you're learning how to build those strong roots, right? Those strong roots that will sustain you. And this is once again going to the independence that comes before the interdependence, right? Really learning how to be strong and stable and rooted on your own, but realizing you're not on your own because you always have spirit. That's the connection, right? You always have that. And you're bringing all of this deep ancestral stuff also up from the earth, up from the roots and into the heavens. Like, you guys are doing some really incredible transformational alchemical work right now. I love it. It's super intense, super intense, but it's super beautiful. And you guys, like, there is such an activation taking place right now for you guys. Just trust in it. Trust in your path. Trust in the journey. If you need assistance, please reach out to me. There are a whole bunch of things I can do. I mentioned a couple of them that can be really helpful. My email is in the description box below. If you like this video, comment, tell me if it resonated. There are links down below to donate to my channel as well if you feel so moved to do so. This is a super intense month for you guys, but understand that we are purging everything, right? We are purging and healing and getting ready to bring in that incredible influx of light that is already here and is growing stronger and really going to come forth on the 21st as it kind of pushes us into this year of 2021 that we're getting ready to start. So this is amazing work that you guys are doing. Give yourselves props for that. This is your energy, the Phoenix energy, the Scorpio energy. You're really digging deep into that Plutonic energy right now, you guys, and you are about to erupt. And it is going to be beautiful when you do. So just allow this process to happen. Really do the work, but don't, like we said, don't get stuck and caught up in the darkness. Allow that darkness to be fused with the light. I love you guys. Happy December. I will talk to you soon.